Uh, Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Uh, what I would like to talk about today is my journey uh, with a person with a developmental disability. Um, at, at birth, my my mother and my father, um, they was very they sheltered me, and I was really kept around family members. Um, and I wouldn't, they wouldn't let me really explore too many things. But as I got older and they seen that they was gonna have to need some help, I was I'm gonna have to really learn how to do things for myself because they weren't gonna be here for long. It's just an honest, clear thing. Um, doing during my school years, um, my mother and my father, my auntie advocated for me, and we, I got a lot of things done because it was a segregated setting. And matter of fact, we was our school. We was downstairs, and the regular, so-called regular students was upstairs. So me and my friend, we used to try to get upstairs all the time, and try to see what the so-called regular students were doing. And then I also wanted to see what the girls looked like uh, because it was, I was just a curious kid, and they got um, me to, really got some stuff done because it was really hard to advocate then. Everything was closed up because you had a disability. You had to be segregated. Matter of fact, they used to keep us in the back hallways. The classrooms used to be in the back hallways. It used to be dark and all that kind of stuff. So, but I was always the one wanting to bust through the system. My mom's role, she was really um, the one that helped me get through all those tough times because she was as hard headed as I was. She always used to advocate for me. She knew I could do something better for myself and also be more independent. As I got older, she assisted me with everything. My auntie, when I had trouble with school, she would advocate on my behalf. She knew I always knew I could do something better, and she wanted something better for me and her and my father. So it was kind of a journey. All of us together was doing the journey. It was a journey. So um, I like to move to this is one of my favorite slides. Be informed when you have a child or relative with a disability. Help them know their rights and contact the right people and deal with the right people. My mother had to get the right insurance, medical insurance for me when I was at the hospital and all that. And I mostly dealt with Miss the Michigan MRS, excuse me. And we just slowly try to figure out how to get services. And we finally found out some things. And then, as you can see me now, later on, I started doing it for myself. Um, to make us extension to my last slide, um, ask 2 or 3 questions, get different opinions 2 or 3 times, 4 or 5 times. It's always good to know everything you can know to help your child be the best they can be. And also think outside the box. Everybody sees me today. Just because I'm in a wheelchair, um, that's not all. there is to me. Uh, if everybody see me, they think I could probably only do a little bit, and I need a whole lot of assistance. But my friends will tell you I can do more than the average person. So that's uh, that's why this is also one of my favorite slides. Oh yeah. Um, you talking about someone when she got sick. Oh, I had to be able to assist my mom later on, and I became her guardian with my nephew. They call them co-successors. Um, this was a very point in my life. I was at the doctor's. I needed to show my guardianship papers before the doctor would even talk to me because they would look at me like, "What are you doing? You don't know, you don't know what you're doing." But they got to talk to me and they found out who I work for, as Elizabeth told you earlier, I was able to help my mom get most of the services that she need. And one of my big passions is advocating for seniors also, along with people with developmental disabilities. And that's one of my life journeys, and hopefully I can do all that. That's why I became a peer mentor, I believe, because my boss liked what I was doing and how I present myself. So, not to hold too long on this slide, but try to think outside for all the social workers that's on the webcast today. Try to think outside the box, and whoever and the teachers, just because a person looked a certain way on the outside, or having trouble at some point in during their school years, that don't mean that that's the end for them. Because currently I'm a student at Central Michigan University. I'm I'm out for the last couple of semesters because I owe them money and I have to pay it back. So so that and they won't let me take one class until I pay them off. Next slide. Um, do do expect the most from your loved one. Everybody counted me out, even when I got ready to move out when I left home, and my neighbors was asking me, are you sure? Can you do this?" I said I can do anything I want to put my mind to. So I'm, as you can see, I have a job and also do some stuff on the side, and I'm my own businessman, and I'm looking for some more endeavors that I can really earn some income, and and do what I need to do. It, as you know, for the person with the developmental disability, it's about the quality of life. It's not what you see. It's not um, what you see on the outside. It's about talking to a person and really seeing what they're about, and all your the assessments and all the stuff. They tried to assess me early on in life. It never worked because I was always a unique. Everybody is unique, and I just want to express that to you. So anybody can do anything, and really explore what the person weaknesses, strengths, and weaknesses is, so they can earn income and go to school like me and do things. And I really strongly for you to take somebody under your wings and really understand who they are. Um, Self-determination. I would like to talk about on this slide about I have my own place. I live about with supports. I live by myself, and with I've been successful. I've been on my own for 8 years. I left on when I was 37 years old, so it's never too late in life. Somebody might have to try it 1 or 2 or 3 times. It might work that third time. You have to really help that person explore those and think outside the box and understand what they need to do and what it's all also about responsibility. The person that's living the self-determined life, they need to learn how to take responsibility, whether it's negative or positive. And matter of fact, this morning I had a close call. I was calling my friend Mike back and forth because he asked me to do this favor for him. I was calling back and forth to make sure I can get here to present to y'all this morning. Um, so that some of the things about self-determination. You can do it. It just takes a lot of responsibility and a lot of accountability for a person. Um, ask for your family input. Ask your sister, your brother, your son, your daughter to help the person with the development of disability to deal with the situation, because what you might see the strengths and weaknesses are might not be what you think, but it might be something that somebody on the outside can see better than you. Um, like a lot of in my situation, my mom, she was real scared of me moving out, and I as Miss Elizabeth Jakes was talking about earlier, I was on the Michigan Developmental Disabilities Council, and I put stuff in place to help my mom and my father after I leave home, because they were seniors at the time and they needed all the help they can get, because she was worried about losing part of my income for the household. And then at the time I was on total disability at the time, so it was really important to them. So I really got them on the budget with the gas bill and all that stuff, so I could be comfortable. And then she was worried about me leaving, about me not coming back home to see them. But I ended up really taking care of my dad. Matter of fact, my dad gave me all his important papers to keep with me before he died, before he passed away, so I can help, so I can do everything to help my mom. And I was able to do that, me being a person with a disability. So is possible as long as you put your mind to it. Um, don't believe someone just because they have a title next to their name. The doctors, the clinicians, I apologize for adding everybody in there, but every time, just because you have a degree or have doctor behind your name or some kind of clinician name, that don't mean that you know everything. So use all the resources you can use to make the final decision, and include. It's all about person-centered planning and self-determination. If you use those principles that those things can provide, you can help that person really have a life. Because I think I really have a life. Matter of fact, I had I had a little situation where that the my supports coordinator, she really he was got upset with me because I kind of found, along with my staff, found my own apartment, found my other apartment. This is my second apartment. Some issues came up. I had to move out of my first apartment and find another one. So um, I just took it, along with my staff, I just took it into my own hands about how you really use the principles of self-determination to find, because I didn't want to go back to where they placed me yet, to the group home. And, because it was some of the same issues that I had in my first apartment, so I didn't want to really have to go back to start over again. So along with my staff, they helped me find my second apartment. So just explore the opportunities before before you really help that person make a final decision. Um, the empty nest syndrome. My mother was so scared, as I could continue on this slide. She was so scared. She was trying to come up with um, every kind of obstacle she could think of to make me stay at home. Um, but I really believe in my own privacy because I might want to do some things that she didn't agree with or that my father didn't agree with. And and like I said, I tried to reassure them that I wasn't gonna never leave them, and I didn't leave them. Matter of fact, I was my mom's co-guardian, along co-successor, along with my nephew. But and I was there to her last breath till she took her last breath, and I set up the funeral arrangements. She's passed away now, and my father's passed away, and I think they would be proud of me not to see where I'm at. Um, I'm a student at Central Michigan University. I should be graduating next year, and um, next year in May. I mean 2016 because I have to take some more classes. So um, anything can happen. Just don't be afraid to let your loved one or let the person you support try. Um, and it's still like I know you just treat me like the same way you would treat your non-disabled um, son or daughter. Um, please support your family members' dreams and aspirations. My mom, my father was very supportive, and he understood where I was coming from to be a man because from where I came from in life, my uncles always told me that you gotta carry your own weight and be accountable for your own self, be accountable for your mistakes. And my one of my family members' husbands, he told me this one thing: a wise man make a mistake, but a fool continue. So you have to be able to explore those things and understand what you are and who you are, so you can do what you need to do. But please be supportive of the people you are supporting and your relatives if something happen to happen to them, because it still can be a life there. Uh, just like I said on the last slide, um, j- just like your other kids, we can be successful also. Look at me, I'm an example. Um, and it's a lot of hard work, but see what's inside that person, and know their strengths and weaknesses, and please, really, just let them fly and let them soar. No matter what that dream is, let them try, and you'll never know what you might see. Um, don't don't be discouraged for setbacks. This is very important to me. Um, I never I never experienced a setback myself because it really got smooth as I guess because I was able to do research and knew everything that I needed to do before research on I'm still doing research right today even though I'm relatively successful. But setback it might take as I said earlier, it might take two or three, four chances for a person to really make it. Please let them make it because we all are citizens of this United States. And we all deserve a chance to live the American dream. And we all it takes a circle of people to help a person get where they need to go. I'm telling you this story today because I found out a long time ago it's power in my story, and hopefully I can help someone get what they need to get and speak to the issues to help people have the life that they want to have, not what people can they can have just because of their challenge. And I want you to explore what that is for that person. And if I can help in some kind of way, please please contact me. Um, the struggle makes the success even sweeter. This is one of my favorite statements that I put in this slide, because every day it gets sweeter and sweeter. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you and say it's not tough, but the struggle, it makes it even sweeter when successes come, because what people said when I was 6 years old back when I was younger. So that's why I'm willing to do the things for my friends that why I'm here today. Um, so because what you see in me, you might see in somebody else. Um, this is this slide is important to me. This is what I'm doing today. Um, actually, uh, I was actually off from my job today, and because DDI, Development Disability Institute, has been so instrumental in my rise. Uh, I I just did. I just wanted to do favors for my friends today, but in another way, it's all for I'm about self determination. It's confirmation for me because I'm using the principles of self determination, and this is one of my confirmations because they asked me to participate in this webinar series today. And too much is given, much is required.
Let's see if there's any questions.
You think they heard me good?
Yeah, ask them if anybody has any questions.
Anybody has any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Do they?
Actually, I have a couple. So Andre, how did you start or hear about self-determination initially?
I used to participate in a lot of things at the Art Detroit. And Hank Johnson told me that he think I could really thrive in a self-determined situation. So I got the application from what they call managed care provider networks, and I picked one, the best one that really had the principles of self-determination, and try to work forward with it.
What are some of the supports or services that you've had to advocate for yourself in your life? I mean, what types of things have you had to go out and get? Had to use your self-determination and your self-advocacy to secure?
My wheelchair.
Some examples. Wheelchair.
The most important thing is being able to use my power chair at work, and most of all, being able to advocate for my supports at home when I'm not at work, because I need meal preparation and stuff like that. Maybe somebody help me bathe and all that stuff. To be able to go to school and be able to be flexible with my time, to do what I need to do for myself. And what I need one of the most important things, I use Dragon Speak on my job. So I have, matter of fact, I ran over my earphones about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I had to go fill out the incident report so my boss could sign it so I could give me some more earphones.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Andre, how difficult is it for you to find and keep good direct care staff? Is that a challenge?
It is, because you have to have somebody that's like-minded with you and be able to think outside the box and but at the same time think along with you, find out, see what the possibilities is, and go along. I think that the rough patch last year and with my housing situation because my staff was willing to help me find something, but it wasn't necessarily what my support circle wanted me to find. But it was like a stopgap issue because I needed to not be in. I didn't want to be in a group home, especially because the same situation was in the group home that was in my apartment. So I didn't I didn't I didn't think it was feasible for me. And at the last hour, I ended up signing my lease for the apartment that I'm in now. But I'm planning on moving closer to my job, hopefully. So,
Catherine has a question. How many hours of personal support do you require each day?
right now, I'm in the process. I have 74 hours because my staff helps me get up in the morning and it helped me get my breakfast. It helped me put my clothes, make sure my clothes is presentable as I go out to work because I also train direct care workers. That's part of one of my duties at community living services. So I have to always look presentable and make sure that everything is presentable to, because I'm constantly talking. Matter of fact, one of my friends said I talk too much about. I mean, that's how I guess that's what I was doing to make my living that way because I talked when I was a kid too.
One other question I had, Andre, was you mentioned you're a peer mentor.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what peer mentorship is and how you got started in it and kind of what you do?
Actually, a peer mentor is somebody that's already have lived experience in the community and help others that's supported by the mental health system. Um, I work on the development and disability side, but I have people call me from the mental ill side also because some of those things, principles still, even though even though it's two different things, it happens. So, to make a long story short, you help a person get not what the system said they need, but what they want. It's not like a counselor. It's something. It's like a buddy. After I get through supporting that person, they call me for everything. Matter of fact, people call me. I had people call me late at night, early in the morning, even while I'm still in bed, because they just want to talk. A lot of times, they just want to have somebody to talk to because the system won't present. The clinicians, the social workers don't have time. First of all, they have too. Their caseload is too heavy sometimes, and they just want uh, a butt of somebody to talk to vent to, and sometimes that's all it is. Or it could be community connecting people with community inclusion. It could be included in the community. People want jobs. Who better to talk to about jobs than me? It took me a whole year to get one time to in that whole year I didn't find a job, but until I went to what used to be called community mental health, and one of my friends recommended me to the consumer enhancement program, and look at me now. I worked there for 5 years. Thumbs up to Steve Cooper and all them over there for trusting me.
Think of another question.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's just nice, kind words. Thank you, Catherine. It says, you're a real inspiration. Thank you for sharing with us. I feel empowered to do more. Now, how do other individuals become peer mentors? Is there a way that they can
call
do that?
Call now. community mental health uh, authority. Matter of fact, you can contact, uh, call 833-2500, and they will connect you to Mr. Robert Spruce. He's our peer coordinator at for people with being a peer mentor for people with developmental disabilities.
And that's Wayne County?
Oh, yeah. Uh, and, and or if you just need, you can contact me through Mike or Elizabeth, and I can give you some other resources in other counties because I know people in other counties also.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Sally asks, great presentation. You said in the beginning your mom was protective. How and when did you change that? So I guess, how did you
I understand.
get your mom to understand?
Because I said, it was a funny story. People from CLS, I was doing my personal center plan when I was getting ready to move out, and I just sat down. It's a process. You have to kind of. My mom was the kind of person. What are you doing this for? And it just took about 4 or 5 conversations, and all the connections that I had, and all the people that supported me to talk to her, to let her see that even though I have a real complex disability, but it can happen if it's up to me what I want, and I have to pull it through. I have to make hard decisions, just like I had to make with my housing, and I had to even upset the cart by sometimes not making my supports coordinator happy, but making myself happy because she didn't agree with the decision that I made. So it was the same type of thing with my mom. So it took like maybe over a year, like conversation after conversation.
Another question from Sally. I love the quotes. Did you create the slides and pick the quotes?
Yeah, along with my boss. I have to give a shout out to Miss Elaine Taverna. She works at another place now, but that was my boss at CLS when I first worked in the program from through CMH. Because fortunately I was a contractor for also my provider too, so she helped me get started. This actually was my first presentation that I ever created. I have about 7 or 8 now, but I was a rookie back then. It was a real green. I was real green back then, but over the years with my friends like Mike and Elizabeth, they helped me hone my skills to do what I need to do.
Let's see. Tammy asks if are you a small business owner? Did you address micro enterprise at all?
I didn't really turn it into a micro, but I do come out and do these type of things for different people. But right now I'm doing a project at work. I don't have that much time, but if it's something that my boss will let me do, I will come out and do it. And I'm always heavy on self-determination and a person living their own life and not having no barriers. Cut down as many of the barriers as possible.
Have you ever thought of doing a micro enterprise or starting your own small business at any point?
Yeah. Actually, me and my buddy Mike, actually, we've been talking about that, but I might have the opportunity now that I'm getting ready to graduate from college and actually do some stuff. But I'm so busy, I don't know when I will have the time to actually make a profit. So,
Any more questions for Andre? Jennifer asks, how are you supported with transportation?
um, through my budget, I have a self-directed. Good question. I have a self-directed budget, and it's a line item in my budget for transportation that's supposed to be provided by my staffing agent, and they help me get around. And actually, it's a unique situation because my I work for my provider that helps me get services, so it's really sometimes it's sticky, but I have to really advocate for myself to get what I need. But yes, it is a line item. Actually, I have what is called a partial budget. I All they do is pay for my staff and then my transportation. Everything else I take care of myself. That's why I have to work so hard because I have to pay my own rent and pay my other utilities, or I might get put out on the sidewalk.
How did you get around?
The bus, um, public transportation. Used to have to get up at 4 in the morning to be to work at 9 o'clock because I had to help myself get ready and then make sure my staff be there so I can so they can make sure I look presentable and have some sort of breakfast. My friends get on me because I really don't eat breakfast. Matter of fact, Mike just got on me the other day. Did you eat breakfast? No. I mean, I know it's one of the most important meals of the day, but I got so much energy. It's like, well, I know I might pay for it later, but I have to come to that cross when I have to. But you just have to make it happen because you have to be accountable for yourself.
Any more questions? Catherine is asking, how many staffs do you have, and how long has your current staff been working for you?
One staff right now. One staff right now. She's been with me for 3 years. We get along like brother and sister. We argue just like this morning. Mike can attest to this. She was arguing. She was really talking forceful to me, and we was talking back and forth about how it's important because that's one way I make my contracts. And I'm a businessman for real. I do things. I've been all the way up in Benton Harbor. I deal with I did one of the things for AmeriCorps, as Elizabeth talked about earlier, the National Service Projects, and me and Mike did that project, and I just pride myself on being accountable, and I have to be able to. One thing that we can talk to each other, and it's not no animosity later on about, oh, you talked to me too forceful, or you did. I'm a grown man. Matter of fact, in 2 months, 2 months from yesterday, I'll be 45 years old. So ain't nothing that somebody can say to me that's gonna get me offended. So I deal with this. I run my situation like a little mini corporation, and that's what gets me in trouble with my budget sometimes because because I'm a very hurt. This is the thing. I have them get in and do what they need to do and get out because I have a private life and I just want to have a life like everybody else, and I don't want nobody cramping me like that. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay. So no more questions right now.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do with?
I just want to say thank you to DDI as being my partner and trusting in me that I know what I'm talking about. that I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be there when they need me because they've been a big partner to me, a business partner as well as I got a lot of friends down there, and hopefully, if you need me, I'm here for because I'm a big proponent of self-determination and a person living their own life. Not what the system says I can have, but what I want to have.
Okay. Well, thank you, Andre. And before Andre wraps up here, we have the week 9 assignment up on the screen. I'll just read through this really quick. So for this week, Andre discussed the topics of self-advocacy and how it figures into advocating for independence, self-determination services. Please think of an example where you yourself advocated for either yourself or someone else. And with that in mind, answer these questions below in 1 to 2 sentences. How did you begin the process of advocacy? What was your role in the process? What was the outcome? And was your experience positive or negative? Why or why not? Okay. And just a quick note, I know Elizabeth's going to speak here to wrap up and go over some of the parameters here, because this is the final webinar in the 9-week series. I sent a message, we sent a message yesterday. Our building, the DDI is in on campus, has been without power since Tuesday night. And we're actually conducting the webinar from a classroom on campus because our building is still currently without power. So I want to ask you all to, if you're faxing in your materials for this week, to please hold off. We will send an email around once we know that power has been restored, because if you try to fax right now, it will not come through. We don't want to lose anybody's materials. You can feel free to email them, that's fine. But please wait until we find out when power will be restored, because we honestly don't have a timeline for that right now. And of course, if you have any questions or concerns, you can email ddi@wayne.com. I will let Elizabeth wrap up here. And again, if you have questions, please send an email.